G'day guys, back at it again today. This one's going to be a hiking, walking video rather than an orchid video. It's 2 o'clock at the moment, and we're doing the Tungkillo loop, spur trail off the Lavender trail in Tungkillo. I have done this before on the channel about 6 months ago, and at the time I did say I'd do it again when the weather's cooler and wetter, so we can get the countryside when it's a bit greener, which it obviously is. We're probably going to be pushing it to get this walk done before sunset tonight. It's 2 o'clock right now. All trails suggests this trail takes about 3 hours and 45 minutes to complete, and sunset's at 5:44 tonight, so we'll see how we go. I mean, I don't have much of an option. It's a loop trail. I'm going to end up back at the car when I end up back there, but we should be alright. It's pretty cool today. So it's in the low teens. Bit of a breeze. Be a lot more blue sky here than there was at home. It was raining a bit earlier, and I do expect to get a little wet today. See how we go. At least there's some water in the creeks this time. Got a few creek crossings on this trail, so that could be interesting. I'm just in my normal walking boots and not wearing gum boots or anything. But yeah, I like this countryside out here. As you know, sheep grazing country, moss rock country, however you view it. I might just try and get this little first bit on the dirt road out of the way, and then I'll bring you back in periodically when we're out in the paddocks and there's not as much chance of cars coming along. Alright, we'll get to walking and I'll see you when I come back in. So we're getting towards the end of this first little stretch on Harding Road. For anyone who remembers the first video, the house up here in front of it is where we duck across the fence. And our first creek crossing is going to be out that way. Somewhere over in that vicinity, I think. Doesn't look like there's too much water up here, so it shouldn't be too much of a challenge. Yeah, it's been a nice walk so far. It's warm in the sun when the breeze drops off. Definitely a lot greener than it was, but yeah, well, last time around. Everything was pretty much dead last time. Pretty sure it was very late summer. The last video, February, March, something like that. It's August 17th today, so getting towards the end of winter. Looking forward to getting off the road. Hopefully the paddocks aren't too squishy. Alrighty, so we've crossed the fence. We're into our first stretch of paddocks, which is nice. Got our first creek crossing here, but like this section of trail runs through the part of this creek that is kind of just in the open countryside. So there's water here, but it's still narrow enough to cross. Nice little crossing point here. But yeah, you've got the big pools of the bottom section of the creek down there, and then the gorge section is up there. So pretty easy to cross at this point. So we're going to work our way up over the ridgeline up here. And then yeah, from memory, we're going to be in paddocks for a little while, and then we hit that like that re-veg site in a property break where we duck away to the left from this orientation anyway. Yeah. Lovely countryside out here. I think I say it every time I do a video out here, just huge sense of nostalgia, this sort of countryside. I didn't grow up out here, but a couple of family members had farms out this way, so I spent a fair amount of time visiting and exploring and creeking and playing in the paddocks. Fond memories. Anyway, as usual, I'm not going to film too much while I'm walking uphill because I am breathing pretty heavy at the moment. Quite a steep little incline here. I'll bring you back in when we're over the top. Alright, so just ditched the dumper. I've just crested the hill behind me here. Yep, back up there. Got a little warm. Sun's out at the moment, it's nice. Got a nice overview of the sort of terrain we're covering from up here. I think I did a little clip up here in the last video as well. We're heading this way, and then we'll go like down into the valley a little bit and then go that way. If we look out to our right here, you can see where the return leg is going to be, which is out over there. From memory, I can't speak. We run along the front of that property out there, so you kind of come through up there somewhere. There's sort of like a little gully saddle in amongst all the rocks up there. Kind of come down and work our way down the valley from there, and then we come back down like over behind the hill here in front of us. Got a ways to go yet. I'm not actually sure that you can see our route over that way from here. I know we do cross this creek line down here in the gully, so there's a ruin down there, and then there's a creek line way down behind it. I know we cross that creek, but I'm pretty sure it is like maybe a couple of valleys over out that way. It's nice up here. It's warm in the sun. It's not anywhere near as windy as I thought it was going to be. Probably a little overdressed with the jacket. Probably not required ultimately, but it'll probably cool down quick as the sun starts to get lower in the sky. I haven't checked the time, but we're doing alright at the moment. Making pretty good pace and haven't stopped all that much. Sheep and kangaroos down there. Kangaroos way down in the valley there. I can't go over 10 times zoom on the phone. Alrighty, just coming up on where we're going to follow this tree line up ahead. Follow it up that way. Sorry, I know we're staring straight into the sun. So I'm pretty sure the trail, after we kind of like dogleg around this property here in front of us, off to the left. But I'm pretty sure that the trail, so I pointed out that property over there earlier that we run along the front of, in the tail end of the trail. I'm pretty sure it actually runs up that valley out over there, kind of run up the creek line there under the power lines, or up the gully. It's not really a creek line, there's a bunch of springs and stuff up there, up through the rock garden, up the hill, go around the back of that big rocky outcrop there, and then we basically run along just the far side of that ridge line. Where all those rocks are out there is Mount Scott. Pretty sure it was called Mount Scott. Mount Scott, S-C-O-T-T. Gee, forgetting how to speak today. Yeah, I mean, obviously from here, it's not really much of a mountain. Nothing out here is much of a mountain. They're all kind of just small hills, essentially, compared to some parts of the world. And yeah, I realise this is a pretty much a complete rehash of the last video, just with green grass instead of brown grass, but hey, if you want to watch it, you can. So yeah, we were walking our way up this between the two fences there. Runs up to where the spur trail technically starts. I don't technically get onto this spur trail from the Lavender trail. I come in from Harding Road because it's the easiest spot for me to park. So it's kind of like, what, southeast from where the Lavender trail actually like splits off into this little loop here. We'll see the signs and stuff when we get down there anyway. Well, up there, it's up from here. Travelling light today. Last time I walked out here, I brought just a satchel bag and some food and stuff. Just got the bottle of water today. Nothing fancy. The loop's only about, what, 14.5 k's, I think all trails suggested. So that's easy. Gonna work our way up here for a bit, and I'll come back in a bit further up. Lots of sundews here actually, for anyone who watches my native videos. Oh, I shouldn't say my native videos, my sort of like native flora videos. Lots of sundews here next to the creek. These are probably all going to end up being like tall sundews, I think. Hard to tell when they're in their basal rosette stage, but they'll fire up a stalk at some point. A bit squishy through here. Alright, a bit more uphill, so I'll put you away for a little bit. Pair of kookaburras up there, having a good old chuckle to each other. We're about to work our way down here. It's going to be an interesting crossing down the bottom there. I figure it's going to be quite swampy. Looks like there's a lot of kangaroos down there as well, so see how we go. Last time there was a mob of about 7 or 8 of them in the gorse bushes at the top. A little bit sketchy, but it'll be alright. Alright, so coming down the property break now. Next to the house, so I'm going to keep the volume down a little bit. Have indeed got some kangaroos down here. Lounging in the sun down there. Another guy having a feed. Another one out here having a look at us. Can't blame him. It's a nice day to be out in the sun. Whole bunch more over there as well. And even more up there in the paddock. And it looks like we're going to be dealing with them all the way up. There's a bunch up here as well. Alright, so this bit here has the potential to be a little swampy. We'll see how we go. At least you can see the track through. Not too bad. A little wet. Shouldn't be any issues here. There's not even a lot of water in the creek here. In fact, there is no water in the creek here. I think it's only really going to be the one creek crossing that has the potential to make life difficult for us. And that's the big one just before you go up through the rock garden. It's quite a large creek, and it's quite a deep creek if it's actually got water in it, so we'll see. It was still holding water back in the summer, so a little bit. Alright, kangaroos, time to move on. They're all going to run up and hide in the gorse, no doubt, and wait for me. So we've got a mama there with a baby closest to us. See the legs hanging out of the pouch. Alright, I'm going to get to walking up this hill and I'll come back in at the top. Alrighty, out to no man's land now, on top of the hill. Coming out of that little gorse patch over there. Much easier to see these lines of rocks when the grass is green and it's a different colour to them. I remember commenting last time, came out here on the hike, it was a little hard to see the posts off in the distance. This time of year, very easy. You can see the rock line running away straight ahead of me there, and then out across the hill just behind those sheep over there towards the fence. So yeah, that's the direction we will be heading, roughly over that way. Somewhere in that vicinity, I'm pretty sure we head back up this hill. A bit to go yet, we're doing alright. It's just after 3 o'clock, so. I've been walking for just over an hour now. Almost be a Windows wallpaper if there wasn't so many rocks. Big threatening cloud, dropping a bit of rain over there, but I think we'll be right. Just working our way down around this little rocky outcrop ahead now. Kind of go down and then hook our way right. And that takes us over towards the big rocky ridge line over there. really nice views out here. It feels super remote, but I'm pretty sure it's Angus Valley Road out in front of us, not that far away from civilization realistically. That house is just on the other side of it. Still a nice place. Feeling a little bit of rain on my head at the moment, despite the fact we're in sunlight. I guess one of these is blowing some rain in from behind me. Now, I'll put you down for a moment. I might throw the top layer on just in case. Alrighty, so we've just reached basically the northwestern corner of the loop here. Yeah, we changed direction now. We've been heading north for the last 15-20 minutes, so now we have got probably the longest leg of this journey, which is the north side. Head east for a good long while. Oh, would you look at that, my skull pile is still up here. I have walked past a sheep skull and I didn't pick it up, so I wasn't sure that the pile was still going to be here, but it certainly is. I reckon I left 5 up here last time, so there's what, 6 there now. Anyway, yeah, we got the long eastward march. Basically straight that way towards that power pole on the ridge. Yeah. At least it's downhill for a little bit now. Got the creek crossing at the bottom, which could present some issues. We'll see. A few sheep up here doing their thing. So basically we got this valley here in front of us, dips away, and you can see the fence line there running up over the next ridge, and it drops down, and it goes right up the far ridge as well. So that's basically the line we're walking. Alright, might bring you back in when we're a bit further down the hill. Just about down the hill to the creek crossing down here. Jump over this fence in a moment and see what we're faced with. Lots of cockatoos, always is along these creek lines. So last video out here, I hopped the fence and had lunch just in here under the trees, just over there in fact. I'll just stay on this side of the fence today as I won't be stopping. Definitely more water in the creek down there. It's an actual proper little pool down there now. Right, up and over. Knees are getting a bit old for this sort of thing. Oof. Oh, it's definitely flowing. I don't think there's going to be any issues getting across it though. Lovely little creek. Would have spent hours in a creek like this as a kid looking for frogs and such. Alright, back on the uphill grind now. I reckon this is probably the longest part of the walk, up and over these couple of ridge lines. It's definitely hard work. And it's cold now that we're in shadow of a cloud. Alrighty, we're nearly to the top of the first ridge line from the creek. Still in the shadow of this cloud behind us, and probably going to be in shadow for most of the rest of the walk, I think. As the sun gets lower, the cloud's fairly thick out there behind us. But yeah, nearly at the summit of this ridgeline. So we've got this little gully in front of us now, and then just up over that next little finger of ridge, and then down into the next big one, which has got a couple of springs in it. Then we work our way sort of up and over that rock garden, sort of up over there, and then we follow. It might not show up on the camera. There's a fence line roughly out there, center frame. Follow that up and over the ridge. And basically, once we go over that, we're going along and we pop out roughly over there, I think, where the sun is. And then go down that little finger valley from memory. So yeah, I mean, we've come a fair way. Out from over that way somewhere. think last time I filmed this video I also pointed out, but you got Mount Beaver over there. So where the aerial is. So that's also on this trail. Probably 20 odd Ks from here. Maybe 30 odd Ks from here. Following the trail, that is. Anyway, we're going to keep moving. It's about, I haven't actually checked the time. I'd say it's about 3:45. So, been walking for an hour and 45. So realistically got maybe 2 hours to go. We'll see. I'd say I'm halfway through the loop, so yeah, maybe another hour and 45, 2 hours to go. See how we go. Should beat the sunset back to the car. Looks like the sun's coming back out for me here for a little bit. Isn't that nice? Little gap in the clouds. Nice to be going downhill again for a little bit for the next couple of big climbs. Big wedge-tail eagle up there. I think I'll show up on camera. There we go. Way out in open terrain here, not a lot of trees around. I was hiking Mount Beaver with my partner, I don't know, about a week ago, 3 or 4 days ago, and I saw 7 or 8 of those guys just around the ridgeline leading up to the summit. It's kind of cool. Alright, we're about to start climbing again, so I'll put you away again for a little bit. Alright, pretty much down in the valley now. First of our springs, which has a delightfully dead sheep in it. It's a little bit grotty. Talk about poisoning the well. Pretty sure that wasn't there last time I was up here. Anyway, moving on. Got another one down here in the right in the creek line. It's flowing out of the gully. That eagle's moved on. It was circling the I say circling. It was riding the thermals, I guess, above this flock of sheep over here for a little while. Probably why it's in the area, I guess, looking for an easy meal. But yeah, seems to have moved on now. Sun's disappeared again, obviously. I feel like this, this spring was pretty dry last time I was up here, and it doesn't look like it's gotten any wetter. A little bit of water coming out of it, not a lot. bit squishy there. Alrighty, got another ladder, and then we're going to work our way up into the boulder field. Oh, you know, I'm going to give my knees a break, and I'm just going to step over the fence here. Why work harder when you can work smarter? Oh, real squishy through here too. Yuck. Alright, signs up there, and then you don't get any signs until you're on the other side of the ridge, so I think last time I kind of just took the path of least resistance, went roughly up through that little notch there where the grass goes, and then oh, welcome back, son. And then found the next sign on the other side, so I think we'll do that again. Got a little bird of prey up here working the thermals over the rocks. I think he's just dipped again. Looks like a little kestrel or something like that. There he is. Oops. I saw one just before heading the other direction. The direction I've come from. There he is, he's bobbed back up. I'm not sure what sort it is. I'm not very good with my small, like, hawks and falcons and stuff. It's too small to be a brown falcon. I guess it's probably like a Nanking kestrel or something like that. Anyway, keep walking up the hill. Alright, turns out there is a sign up here in the boulder field. I went too far the other direction last time and didn't see it. Up here, so a couple of little rock piles there that other hikers have made as well. Not strictly a fan of those, but they do help you out in situations like this. Oh. Excuse the breathing. May as well jump on top, have a look at the view. Probably getting a stack of wind noise at the moment. There's not much I can do about that. Quite a view from up here. And we're heading that way. Last little bit to summit. Up that fence line. Alright, let's get cracking. So got a pair of small birds up here. I'm not exactly sure what they are. Seem to be predominantly ground feeding. I'm probably not going to zoom in on them enough. Hoping I can get close enough for a half decent picture. But I suspect they're going to fly away the second I take 3 or 4 more steps from where I am. So we'll see. just to prove my point that sundews are everywhere. Way out in the middle of a sheep paddock, well, not the middle of a sheep paddock, but you know, in a sheep paddock, big, like rocky, moss rock outcrops everywhere. And we've got a whole stack of sundews here as well. Heaps of them. All over the place. So again, not sure what species these are from the rosette. None of them are like got an upright stalk yet, but they are everywhere. Just in that patch there, just above the creek line. And you come a little bit higher and there's none. Weird how that happens. Still just working our way up this last little climb. Got a bit to go yet. As you can see, that little ridge up there is the top of this section anyway. There's one more climb when we go out over that way. Up the west side of Mount Scott. Oh, gonna get back to walking. Just figured I'd point out those sundews. Alrighty, pretty much at the top of the hill. Just coming over it now. I suspect we're gonna get wet. Yeah, plenty of dark clouds around, plenty of rain showers visible pretty much in every direction. So we've got a nice patch above us that is just like blue sky. But yeah, all around us there's rain dropping everywhere. About to get our views out into the Murray Valley and beyond before we head southwards towards Mount Scott, down that way. It's windy up here and almost guarantee I'm about to get wet. So yeah, raining all the way out that way. Actually clear out that way. But yeah, plenty of rain out here. Oh, and that wind is icy. So we're just over 10 k's into the track now. We're about 4:30. So about 4 k's left. Should hit the car just before sunset. And yeah, just one more little uphill bit to go. Obviously not going all the way back to Tungkillo, so ignore that 9 kilometres, but one day we'll head to Springton from here. Down that way, it's just starting to rain now. One day we'll get that walk up on this channel. Not today. Lovely sunshine out there now. But we're about to cop this big old rain cloud. I was expecting it. Can't say I'm surprised. Alright, let's get stuck into this last little uphill grind. Who needs to go to Kangaroo Island when you can just come to Tungkillo and walk for 2 hours? Perhaps not quite as impressive, but the feel is the same. So we got Mount Scott on our left here. Just working up to the little saddle behind it, and then we're going downhill again. Fair to say, if you've watched this far of this video, you're doing well. And yeah, so at the time of filming, we're at 497 subscribers on the channel. We had quite a few come in the last month or so. Not that there's been a lot of content, but had a few come in from the short. So if any of you guys are watching, welcome to the channel. Yeah, obviously coming up on 500. I'd like to think that we'd get there by the end of the year. Things have been a little slow this year in terms of uploading, but trying my best. Yeah, it'd be nice to cross over that threshold. I have to say, I'm absolutely cooked at this point on this walk. Absolutely knackered. I haven't exactly been sprinting through it, but I haven't been ambling either. I've been moving at a fair clip, I think. For me, anyway, on one of these walks. Nose is running like a tap at the moment. The wind that's blowing over the ridge here on my right is absolutely icy. Alright, just going to put you down again for this last little climb. Alrighty, at the top of the trail anyway. I probably should go and climb to the top just to say I've done it, but you know what, I'm knackered and I can't even bother. Something very reflective out there. Alrighty. Basically all downhill from here. Got a little rise in the trail along the fence line down there, but it's not too bad. Nothing compared to what I've just climbed. Basically going right back down into the valley. Somewhere down around there. Looks like we might even get some sun for the last part of the evening. These clouds just need to move on a little bit and we'll have some sunshine again, which will be much appreciated because it's turned to ice out here. A good little place to explore in here too, if you're allowed to wander off trail. Nice little rock garden in there, be all sorts. I'd love to have a property out here in this sort of countryside. It'd be amazing. Build a little cabin out here amongst the rocks, put a fireplace in it. Sit out here on a cold night, listen to the rain on the roof. It'd be great. One day. Oh, there it is. The sunshine is amazing. Alright, just ticked over 5 o'clock. We're on the last little stretch of paddock walking now until we're back on public road. Probably a couple k's to go, I would say, like total walking distance. It's nice at the moment now that those rain clouds have slipped away to the north. I think we'll have clear skies until I get back to the car, which is nice. Another rainbow out there. Absolutely cracking evening. Alrighty, coming through the gate, back out on the public road now. As I say, this is the starting point. If you're looking at all trails, it's not where I start, but you know, we've been through that. I think I mentioned this tree last time I was filming out here. And I think I thought it was an oak tree at the time, but now I'm looking at it again, I think it's actually some sort of fig tree. Either way, it's pretty cool. I mean, I figure it's part of the original homestead kind of estate here. You've got a line of deciduous trees along the fence there. Yeah. Some weird trees up here. So you get a bunch of like oak trees down along the road here as well. So just strange. Anyway, we're going to head back down towards the car. I think I'm probably going to call the video at this point. It's pretty much just walking down this dirt track and then the sketch a little bit out on the main road. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you've made it this far in the video, think about subscribing. As I say, it'd be great to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. Yeah, comment down below if you've got any questions, and we'll see you in the next one. All right.